video is supported by High Point Scientific. More on that later.
G'day, Dylan from the Byron Bay Observatory here. When this telescope specification showed up in my feed, I was a little surprised. We don't see a lot of competition from solar astronomy vendors at all, really. Ever since the collapse of Coronado, it's basically been Lunt and Daystar. So to see one of the major brands jump into solar in such a big way was a bit of a surprise. And initially I got a bit of sticker shock with the price. But the more I dug into that, I realized this is actually super cheap for a solar scope of its caliber. Now this isn't an ad, I'm not sponsored by Skywatcher. This is a demo sample. I have to send this back at my own cost. Don't get to keep it, unfortunately. So really the only thing to do is to see what it does. I want to put a little camera on here, maybe the QHY 200M. I believe this is not going to be great for full disc photos of the sun, unless you have a big enough camera on here. And you can use the Byron Bay Observatory calculator to mix and match this scope with all sorts of different cameras. But ultimately, the true test is to show this thing pointing at the sun. I'm going to use the Star Adventurer GTI, which seems to handle the weight of this okay. We'll see if it images okay. And I want to see what sort of detail we can get out of our closest star. My name is Dylan O'Donnell, and you're watching Star Stuff. Well, first impressions, this telescope is super easy to use. It definitely has that same level of quality and visual accuracy that I can see with my Lunt 40mm scope. The focuser is better than the Lunt 40mm. It's definitely closer to those upper echelon of the Lunt scopes. And of course, this one competes directly with the Lunt 100. At first, I wasn't sure if there was a solar finder, but using the shadows, there is. It's very hard to see, but there's a second illuminated line of the sun, and if you line up that shadow with the shadow of the circle on that little solar finder, the image of the sun simply appears on screen. Now I actually forgot to polar align, so I'll do this with the MSN bracket, the Move Shoot Move bracket. This is a part that I actually suggested they make, and they machined one up for me. It's not perfect yet because of this tolerance here. It doesn't slide in, but if they finish making it, I will let you know because it's actually super handy. And I can see the South Celestial Pole. So I think that's better. But this is a really strange offering from Skywatcher. It's perfectly timed during the solar maximum. It is the time to sell a solar telescope. So I'm really pleased to see this. And I reached out to my friend Stephen Ramsden, the man, the myth, the legend behind the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy project. Thank you for joining me.
I was going to say the same thing. Dylan O'Donnell, the YouTube legend, my favorite YouTube channel of all time, and one of my favorite people on earth. And I'm really, really glad that we got a chance to get together on the same broadcast for the first time.
So this product sort of came out of nowhere for a lot of people, the Heliostar 76HA. And as soon as I saw this drop, I was like, what is this? And then I saw the price and I thought, my first instinct was, this is expensive. And then I looked at Lunt's product line and compared them, and I went, no, actually, this is half price for
Yeah, it's about
similar
half the
specs.
price.
Yeah. And then I saw a post on Facebook saying that Charlie Bates' solar astronomy project had something to do with all of this. Can you let me know the inside goss?
Sure. And for those that don't know, I run the world's largest solar astronomy nonprofit, and we send equipment for imaging and observing the sun all around the world. We're in 27 countries now, and our goal is to get young people involved in high-tech science early on for a better world. We've been in business for 16 years, and we've done some pretty good things thanks to a very, very small group of donors, and some of which are in Australia. That's what we do. So we try to get the best equipment on earth in the hands of people that can use it but don't have any access to it. We wanted to do this 2 or 3 years ago. There was some legal issues to get by because it's a similar technology to what's already there. It's not the same, obviously, because it's so much better quality, but it was very similar. So some of the changes that you know about with Mead and some other companies have made it possible to introduce this new scope. Dylan, you've got it in your hands. It is a fantastic scope to use. I don't know if you've had it out and looked through it yet or imaged with it, but beat the $3,000 price point, which is critical. And you're right. If you were to buy this scope from Lunt, which is also a fantastically built scope. I mean, I use a Lunt 100 millimeter scope myself, so I'm no disparaging comments there. Brian Stevens, who works for Lunt and builds their scopes, is probably the #1 solar telescope engineer on Earth, and he's also a good friend. But the 76 millimeter Skywatcher scope has been on the drawing board and been being refined for about 2 years now. So here it is. Do you like the specs, you say? Did you read over the specs?
Well, that's exactly what I was doing, and I was comparing it to the Lunt 100 because it's sort of approaching that focal length. And the Lunt 100 is a $13,000 telescope in Australia. So for the Heliostar to be $5,000 is actually really, really cheap. And are you telling me this is going to perform on par with the Lunt 100?
Yes, I have a double stack Lunt 100 in my Octans tent. This 76 millimeter, now, we only got our double stack 100 scope. It's a $10,000 scope here as well. It's going to have some advantages as far as zooming in closer with the same detail. But this is a single Etalon. The Skywatcher scope is a single Etalon made from quartz, by the way, which is totally new on the market.
Wow.
And it performs at 0.5 angstrom, some variability plus or minus a half an angstrom. But Dylan, I don't know if you know this, but when you double stack a solar telescope, a hydrogen alpha telescope, every additional Etalon you put on reduces your brightness by 40%. It's mathematical. Quantum electrodynamics, that's my field. So to get the double stack performance from a Lunt, you're losing 40% of your available light, which means your images have to be exposed for almost twice as long to get the same detail. That is not the case with the Skywatcher. You're getting the double stack bandpass of half an angstrom without the reduction in light. So you're getting super bright prominences along with your high resolution, high contrast surface details. Somehow these guys have gotten this scope to provide a pretty flat field with a basic tilt tuner. This Etalon is tuned by applying pressure to the center. They've got the tri-fid tuning technology. Okay, so the PST, for instance, you screw it, and the two pieces of Etalon are pushed together, and it changes the distance between them, causes a different bandpass. This Etalon is also pushed together, but it doesn't have like a draconian bolt sitting in the middle of it that you actually tighten to get them together, because that was breaking things and causing lots of problems. This has a separate pressure system that applies the pressure to the center of the Etalon with 3 little sticks, basically plastic sticks, and it applies the pressure that way. So the tuning is much more even across the field. So it's kind of a cross between the tilt-tuned, crazy uneven illumination and sweet spot, and the pressure-tuned, super flat but almost two-dimensional view.
Right.
And they're putting in, I do a lot of outreach with students and stuff around the world. They're putting in a clip-on shield. It's a little cheapy option, it's no big deal. but they're including the shield that clips onto it to block the sun while you're looking through the eyepiece. Because I don't know how many times in my life I've told somebody, put your hand up and block the sun, you know, but that's included with this also. And I'm excited about that. And I really like the green color, you know, the anodized green on it. I'm a cosmetics guy. And
the aesthetics are really good.
yeah, you know, who wants a boring old white telescope, man? I want some flash on mine. You know, I want some. I want it to be cool. I want the chicks to dig it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah! And there's nothing that pulls in the chicks like solar astronomy.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of like listening to Rush, the band. You know, it's a chick repellent, basically. Now, this is a cool scope, and I'm really excited to get it on the market.
Yeah, and I won't go into politics and tariffs and stuff because I got slapped down by many comments on the last video, so we won't even touch that.
Yeah, I'm not really beholden to anyone, and I'll be glad to say whatever you don't want to say because I don't care. And I feel like as a retired military and retired U.S. Civil servant, I can say whatever I want, and if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it, man.
Nice.
So,
well, thank you for your service. Steve Ramsden, thank you very much.
We'll see you next time, Dylan. Hopefully I'll see you at NEAF again.
Oh my god, it's hot. Hey, you know, if you want this, or if you want the Apertura power supply, or the Skywatcher GTI, or any of this, it's all available at High Point Scientific. High Point Scientific are a cool supporter of this channel, and they fully support their equipment. They have a price match guarantee, and they stock like a huge range of brands, and now they ship worldwide as well. So use the links down in the description below, or head to www.highpointscientific.com. There was a little light leak in my first light images, so I'm using a condenser mic foam protector to stop the light leak. I think that might actually work. So, what's the verdict? People who are worried about the focuser don't need to worry about the focuser. The focuser works fine. In fact, the focuser is great. The tuning, the trifid tuning thing, isn't completely flat. You probably will need to take solar flats with this telescope, but that's kind of something that you have to do with every solar telescope. But pixel for pixel, I mean, the results are pretty good. Once I got rid of the light leak issue, which was entirely my fault, things looked great. I couldn't get the field perfectly even, but the tuner is actually a pleasure to use. It's so smooth. There's no hard bolt or screws or anything like that. You just pull the knob. And I'm pretty happy with the second light results. If I had some more time, I'd definitely go deeper with this scope. And because with this focal length, you're looking at more kind of details on the sun rather than a full disk image, although you could mosaic that if you wanted to. Anyway, I know the solar nerds were waiting to get some results from this telescope, so hopefully that has shared a little bit of information for you. And I'm not a solar guy, so someone with the experience could do a lot better than I could with this telescope. Definitely very interesting and pretty well priced. Thanks for watching. I hope your astrophotography journey is going well. You've been watching Star Stuff. My name is Dylan O'Donnell. And remember, everything is meaningless and we're all going to die.